Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Marine Corps birthday ball. Yes, good to see you. I'm retired Navy Chief Tim Adams. You probably know me as one of the weather guessers around here. So partly cloudy skies, slight chance of showers. No, we have more beautiful things than weather to talk about here this beautiful evening. This is going to be a remarkable event, as we can already see. And you know, it's the Marine Corps League 337 ball, celebrating the 242nd birthday of our Corps. Happy birthday. Would you now please welcome Lieutenant Colonel James Armstrong, U.S. Air Force, as he delivers the invocation. Please rise.
Hi everyone, it's a real honor for me to be here tonight. After serving with Marines in Kyrgyzstan, Afghanistan, and Iraq, it's a real pleasure being around these fine men and women who have served our nation and represented us. Let's pray together. So Lord, what a privilege it is to be able to assemble here this evening to celebrate the birth of the United States Marine Corps. Lord, you were here before we came, and you saw fit that on 10 November 1775, a United States Marine Corps be established. And Lord, we pray that you would help us to live up to your might and your expectations. And we are told that our purpose is to contact, close with, and destroy the enemy. But we know that in your eyes, the lives of our enemies are just as valuable as the lives of our comrades. So help us to focus on our ultimate goal of pursuing world peace and establishing security for all men. And may we do our part in upholding the legacy of our Corps, maintaining our values of honor, courage, and commitment. Yes, warriors and gentlemen forever. And as long as Marines are on duty, may this nation find rest in us as we submit to you. And so now, Lord, thank you for the meal that we're about to receive that has been prepared for us this evening. Thank you for the service of all hands that took part in its preparation. And may they be rewarded well for their labors. We pray that this meal would bring forth nourishment and satisfaction to our bodies, always faithful to our God, our families, our friends, and our Corps. This night we pray satisfaction to the Lord, and long live the Corps. In your precious holy name, Semper Fi. Amen.
Thank you, Colonel. You can be seated now. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have a message from the 37th Commandant of the Marine Corps, General Neller.
Every day before I put on these threads, I ask myself one question. Am I worthy?
Have I earned the privilege to represent the legacy of all the others who have come before me?
To protect and defend our nation against all who threaten our way of life
not only defines our motto,
it's who we are.
Not everyone can be a member of our team.
It takes guts. And it takes courage.
no one said it would be easy.
But anyone who's ever worn our cloth
or received the eagle, globe, and anchor, or heard the cadence, knows our name.
You learn from day one, it's about the team. We're part of a team. Anyone I've ever met who's been awarded the Medal of Honor or any of our highest nation's decorations will tell you they did it because they were part of a team. They didn't do it for themselves. They did it because they wanted to make sure everybody came home.
No greater example of that was my own situation on November 13th of 2004. And I think I get way too much credit for that day. The real credit goes out to the Justin Boswoods and the Sergeant Robert J. Mitchells and the Lance Corporal Marquez and Lance Corporal Schaefer at that time. Sergeant Mitchell, he ran across a kill zone in a room that was covered by heavy enemy fire and put himself in harm's way voluntarily to get inside the room with me and try to make a difference and to try to assist in the evacuation of myself and Lance Corporal Nicole. And I think that's pretty incredible.
You know, Marines stepping up to the plate to save other Marines, to make sure they defend freedom and liberty with everything that they got. It's no different. Uncommon valor, still a common virtue.
75 years ago, the 7th of August, the 1st Marine Division landed on this island. Guadalcanal, unlike a lot of the fights in the Pacific, was a 6-month-long campaign. A series of attacks and counterattacks on air, land, and sea. On the night of 24-25 October, right here, Sergeant John Barcelona, Charlie 17, whose position is about 10 meters to my right, defended his position against overwhelming odds.
Well, he earned his Medal of Honor right here. Correct. Yeah. Going back and forth through the fire, getting ammo. Let's see it. Issuing it out to his machine gun. It happened. Right. He repaired the machine gun. Never thought in my lifetime I'd be standing in the same position with Sergeant John Bazelon, led his machine guns, his teams, and he sealed his name in the history of the Marine Corps forever.
The main things I think all of us will never forget is the terrible night bombings and air raids. You can't fight a plane and you can't fight a ship. It was very frustrating because here you had to sit there in a hole in the ground and take all this bombing, and you couldn't fight back. You couldn't fire your rifle at anybody. But the Marines who were on the line on Guadalcanal, I think every man there should have received a medal. And I think every corpsman there should have received a medal.
This is a story about individuals' heroic actions, but it's about leadership, it's about perseverance, about resilience. They could have quit. They could have given up. I mean, there weren't too many good days here. So I think it's important for all of us to remember where we came from and who we are and why we're here on our birthday, which is what we're supposed to do. Remember the past, honor those that are no longer with us, think about what's going on today, and get ready for tomorrow. We've got a great Marine Corps. We've got great Marines. Our families support us. The nation supports us. We just have to execute. And we are executing every day, and the Sergeant Major and I are very proud of what you do. Doesn't mean we can't get better. We don't want to make a mistake to learn. We don't want to lose to learn. We cannot lose if we have to go fight. We got to do what these Marines did here 75 years ago. Persevere against difficult, challenging conditions and odds and win. We've got to win.
Sound. Adjutants call.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the arrival of our guest of honor and the Commandant of the Marine Corps League number 337. He is Michael Riddell. He's escorting Major Ricardo S. Flores. Major Flores is currently the commanding officer of Recruiting Station Seattle. And please remain standing for the march on of our colors, the national anthem, and the entry of the traditional birthday cake.
Present arms. Order arms.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Parade, rest.
On November the 1st, 1921, John A. Lejeune, 13th Commandant of the Marine Corps, directed that a reminder of the honorable service of the Corps be published by every command to all Marines throughout the globe on this, the birthday of the Corps. Now, since that day, Marines have continued to distinguish themselves on many battlefields and foreign shores, in war and in peace. On this birthday of the Corps, therefore, in compliance with the will of the 13th Commandant, Article 38, United States Marine Corps Manual, edition of 1921, it is republished as follows.
13th Commandant General John A. Lejeune, birthday message. On November 10th, 1775, a Corps of Marines was created by a resolution of the Continental Congress. Since that date, many thousand men have bore the name Marine. In memory of them, it is fitting that we who are Marines should commemorate the birthday of our Corps by calling to mind the glory of its long and illustrious history. The record of our Corps is one which will bear comparison with that of the most famous military organizations in the world's history. During 90 of the first 146 years of its existence, the Marine Corps has been in action against the nation's foes. From the Battle of Trenton to the Argonne, Marines have won foremost honors in war and in the long eras of tranquility at home. Generation after generation of Marines have grown gray in war in both hemispheres and in every corner of the 7 seas, that our country and its citizens might enjoy peace and security. In every battle and skirmish since the birth of our Corps, Marines have acquitted themselves with the greatest distinction, winning new honors on each occasion until the term Marine has come to signify all that is highest in military efficiency and soldierly virtue. This high name of distinction and soldierly repute we who are Marines today have received from those who have preceded us in the Corps. With it also received from them the eternal spirit which has animated our Corps from the generation to generation and has been the distinguishing mark of Marines in every age. So long as the spirit continues to flourish, Marines will be found equal to every emergency in the future as they have in the past. And the men of our nation will regard us as worthy successors to the long line of illustrious men who has served as soldiers of the sea since the founding of our Corps.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is customary at Marine Corps birthday celebrations worldwide for Marines to cut a traditional cake in celebration of the birth of our illustrious Corps. The first piece of cake is given to our guest of honor, Major Ricardo S. Flores. His personal decorations include the Meritorious Service Medal, the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal, 2 gold stars in lieu of the 3rd award on that, and the Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal, among many others. And the second piece of cake is given to the oldest Marine present. That's Gunny Sergeant John Cunningham. He enlisted in the Marine Corps in 1948. Stayed until 1961. Served many tours overseas, including Korea. A number of MOSs consisted of prison guard, the infantry, the 4.5 rocket battery, and many more. He has earned 5, no, make that 6 battle stars. He was last assigned to the 11th Marines. The oldest Marine passes it on to the youngest, signifying the passing of experience and knowledge from the old to the young of our Corps. Youngest Marine present is Private Ashley M. Cardenas, enlisted in the Marine Corps on June the 21st this year, graduated boot camp November the 3rd of 2017. She's currently assigned to aviation school in Pensacola, Florida. And the third piece of cake further emphasizes the fact that we care for our young Marines before we look to our own needs. And so it must be. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise now for the retiring of the colors and the march on of the official party. Ladies and gentlemen, you can be seated. And please welcome to our podium, Commandant Mike Rigel.
I am not that tall. I forgot my soapbox, so I'll have to lower the mic down just a little bit. I want to thank you all for coming out here. It's pretty good to see a lot of faces and stuff, and some familiar and some I've just gotten to meet. It's I had an hour-long speech, but I told I had to keep it down to 10 minutes. So I'm going to talk fast, about 100 miles an hour. It's been guessing about 150. So if you can understand everything I talk about, that'd be great. One of the things I have to look at as we go through life, we have 3 stages in our lives, but also 2, if you relate it to Marine Corps boot camp, we always had our first phase. We couldn't turn right, we couldn't turn left, we didn't know what about face was, column march, or whatever the case may be. And we're running into each other, and drill instructors, I know some of you are out there understand what we're going through because you schooled us. Right, Staff Sergeant Jordan? Okay, but anyhow, as we learned and went through, we did pretty good till the second phase, and we got a little bit closer. We knew what our left and right was. Wait a minute, that was left, this is right. So we started to come to gel together. And it's, you know, how things, as we strive for excellence, because we continue to strive for excellence. It's the way we are, and it's we get taught and ingrained and stuff like that. It just doesn't stop when you leave boot camp. We always constantly learn to find out why it doesn't work. We keep on striving to find out, okay, that didn't work that way, let's find another way to do it. And it's the same thing for the Marine Corps ball that we're putting on this year. We have a few mistakes here and there, but you know, we learn, we find out how can we do better for next year. Okay, we found this way here, let's make a list, let's go forward, we'll cover again, we'll wait until the next time. So the third phase is when we finally get together, we can know how to straightforward march, we knew how to do our column marchers, we did everything by one step. If you ever heard the boots of a Marine when they're graduating, it just sounds like one step. That's the way it is. And we learn, we strive for excellence. So the thing is how do we do better next time? So I leave it at that. I'm going to introduce the Major because you came here to listen to him, not me flap my gums in the wind. Major?
I too am not very tall, so I will come down where everyone can see me, or else I might get awkward. You see our voice behind the podium. So, well, wow, look out, this is outstanding. Our 242nd year. That feels good. So, yes, you might have read my bio or heard, or at least seen my picture on a wall. Well, I'm here today, and I just want to say thank you, Commandant, for inviting me. This is an amazing opportunity to hang out with Marines. For, I was told that this may be a few, people in the room's first Marine Corps birthday celebration. I know one for a fact. It's our newest Marine, Private Cardenas. She just graduated recruit training, just 7 days ago. So if we would, give her a round of applause. So that is outstanding. As the RSCO, the recruiting station commander for RS Seattle, having a brand new proof source on the street here, walking around of what the transformation of becoming a United States Marine can be is huge. And I'm glad that she was able to share this with us tonight, so thank you very much. Give her another round of applause. So for everyone else who has never, been in the United States Marine Corps birthday ball celebration, just know that this is a very special occasion for each and every Marine. Whether they're eating MRE cake, that coveted lemon poppy seed cake out of an MRE in Syria, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You'll trade just about anything for it, right, Marines? Whether you're eating galley cake off the USS Boxer, you know, in the middle of the Arabian Gulf, or you're here in the safety that our fellow Marines who are on post right now provide us here in our homeland, eating cake, every Marine, whether silently by himself reflecting upon what he has done in that past year and in his career, whether that, you know, that young man or woman served 4 or 40 years, every Marine holds November 10th as a very sacred day. It just is. Now, I've been fortunate to spend some time with the other services. I've gone to a few of their schools, and no one, one of my favorite things is hanging out with the Army. Nothing against them, but we're different. I love them. World's strongest Army, right? They win wars, we win battles. We kick in doors, got it? Right. My favorite thing, when I show up to one of their schools, I just finished one of their schools just about a year ago, or I entered one of their schools, and they say, hey, what branch are you in? I'm wearing camis, I'm looking down, I'm like, I forget my name tapes, you know, this side says name, this side says when I'm in, you know, U.S. Marine Corps. I'm like, nah, brother, right here. United States Marine. You know, Major Floyd, United States Marine. You're like, no, what branch are you in? Man, I don't think, I know we're both kind of like ground type elements, but United States Marine, like, no, what do you do? I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I'm an intelligence officer, whatever it is, right? They're like, oh, okay, yeah, good to go. Like, oh, yeah. But yeah, and talking to those majors at the Command General Staff College, it became very apparent that they, other branches, even the Air Force and the Navy, they have their specific sector that they're concerned with. United States Marines, what we care about? We don't wear a bunch of badges and stuff. Most Marines, I'm sure, I look around, I see some Marines with some awesome badges. I bet you on a day-to-day basis, they didn't always wear those badges because what was the most important thing on their uniform? The Marines. That eagle, globe, and anchor. Hell yeah. That's the most important thing. That's what you earn at Officer Candidate School or recruit training. Whether you go to MCRD San Diego, MCRD Paris Island, or you're beat through the halls of Bobo Hall at Officer Candidate School. There it is. It doesn't matter where you were made a Marine because you have an eagle, globe, and anchor, and you've earned it. And so today, to reinvigorate what I was trying to say, geez, I get off track, don't I? If you've never celebrated with us before, thank you. This is a very special occasion. This is where we look back at the 242 years of our legacy as United States Marines and reflect upon all that which we have done. In the video that the Commandant, provided for us, he talked about some amazing battles. What John Basilone, Medal of Honor winner, did at Guadalcanal. We look back at it, it's even in the Marines hymn, from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. Our legacy is what binds us together. It's something that we can hold and reflect upon. But not only on this day do we reflect upon our Marine Corps and what we've done, we project what we will do in the future. And it's because of our legacy, that hallowed legacy, that we know we must continue to be the best. That we can't just pay it lip service that, oh yes, we are the best, first to fight, the few to proud. No, those are not slogans. Those are things I say as the recruiting station commander, not because that's what the marketing guys tell me, and they do, but it's because it's true. When I'm fighting against the other, battalion commanders, every other branch has lieutenant colonels or commanders, 05s, running their battalions, their recruiting battalions. When I'm fighting against them to get the best men and women to become United States Marines, I don't have to come out with bonuses. I don't have to come out with specific jobs. I don't have to promise anything. I provide the opportunity to become one of the proudest organizations in all of existence to become a United States Marine. And I have young men and women walking into our offices every single day, turning down $50,000 bonuses, specified jobs, job location, just for the challenge, not even the promise, the challenge and opportunity to become a United States Marine. And that is not because of anything that we have specifically done, it's because something that we have all done, the team. You all have carried this legacy forward. All of you. And I stand today, I still wear it, this uniform with pride, and I'll continue to do it until the Marine Corps tells me I can no longer command or stops promoting me. And then I'll get out, and then you'll see me back here. I'll be in the chairs wearing a red jacket, if you'll take me. And I'll be celebrating just alongside you. But it's because of everything that you guys have done. And and what it means to become a United States Marine. So thank you. It's great that it's Veterans Day, happens to coincide with our birthday every year. I was fortunate to go to my daughter's Veterans Day celebration yesterday before I went to a ball last night. Just trying to juggle all these things, it's great. And I went to the Veterans Day celebration, and I don't know, maybe I'm getting old. I don't think I'm old, but I'm wearing a major ring. I guess I'm getting old. I am one of those grumpy majors that I hated when I was lieutenant. But I was sitting there in the celebration, and I got teary-eyed. Young men and women telling poems, or reciting poems, singing songs, patriotic songs, and it really, I just couldn't. It was hard for me not to just start bawling right during that ceremony. And you know who I'm sorry to get teary-eyed now, but the main contributor for that event yesterday was the Veterans of Foreign Wars. And I was thinking about, if it weren't for organizations like this, I know this is the VFW, this is the Marine Corps League, but if it weren't for organizations like this, like the Marine Corps League, supporting our youth, we've got the young Marines right here. If it weren't for organizations like this, our future as a Corps and as a country would be in peril. When I first got orders to become the commanding officer for RS Seattle about a year ago, and they said Seattle, I got calls from my buddies like, hey Rick, I'm really sorry. You can't recruit people out of there. It's a very, left state, blah, yada, yada, yada. I'll tell you what, the Marine recruiters and the youth of Washington is strong. Over 99% high school graduates. Over 72% alphas. So if you don't know what an alpha is, that means they're pretty wicked smart. Hey, problems need love too. I got it, man. I might have a waiver or two. What's that? No betas, right? But no. So the quality we're getting from here is outstanding. But they also say, so quality aside, we are getting good men and women, or young men and women. They're like, hey, you're just going to get no support from the communities. And that is just straight up BS. Because of organizations like you, the Marine Corps League, supporting us every single day, reminding the community of everything that you presented to them and provided them and protected them with. And if it weren't for you all, we'd be nowhere. Now, I have to talk about, so we talked about the legacy, and I've talked about the Marine Corps League. But there's something else that's very special and that I hold very close to me, and that's the Navy. All right. I know we've got a few sailors out here, and I see them. I just want to say thank you very much. Let's give them a round of applause. So if it weren't, God's honest truth, if it weren't for the Navy, I wouldn't be here today. It's true. And I'll tell you why. 70 years ago, the little war between us and Japan, and the Germans, but the part I'm looking at is towards Japan. Y'all might remember it, not everyone, a few of you, but World War II. My grandfather was in the Philippines with my grandmother. 17 years, just turned 17 years old, lies to get on ship, joins the Navy to fight, for freedom. That's how my family came here to America, through the Navy. And there's something very special that the Navy does for us, an endearing bond that we'll have forever. There's two jobs the Marine Corps does not have. What are they? Docks and what else? chaplains. Yeah, submarines. Oh no, I've been in a submarine for a little while. I did not take to it. One good thing about being on a ship when you're 5'5" is that I never hit my head on anything. So, all you guys that are 5'7" and taller, like, hey, that's for the birds, all right? I don't have to duck. I'm just there. But yeah, chaplains and corpsmen. Without them, where would we be? You know, in Guadalcanal, right next to John Basilone, what do you think was pretty close to him? A chaplain and a corpsman. The Navy, you know, even in those battles, we talk about Guadalcanal, you know, even before that, Midway, without the Navy, the Marine can't get ashore. If they don't fight the fight, if they're not fighting that battle to win the sea space, then we never get there. And not only will we not get there, when we get there, they're the ones taking care of us, both spiritually and physically. So, it's the Department of Defense, it's the Department of the Navy. We all know which, you know, branch the Marine Corps is inside of the Department of the Navy. Well, let's not kid ourselves. If it weren't for the Navy, one, we wouldn't be there, and two, we'd just be crazy, broke, and lame. So, you know, we may still hit some ports, but if we don't have the chaplain and the corpsman there when we get back, you know, then things aren't going to be right. So, oh shoot, honey, I think, you know, so I do want to thank my wife for putting up with me. Thank you, Gabrielle. So I love you. And with that, you know, 242 years, we're not even halfway there yet. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all you do to carry on our legacy. Whether you're active reserve, IRR, long retired, thank you. Everything you do every single day makes a difference. And it makes it easier for me to do my job. When I'm talking to a young man or woman, they're like, oh yeah, this influencer, my coach, my boss, you know, my pastor, my youth group leader was a Marine, or is a Marine, and he told me to talk to you. The other services don't have that. It's 242 years. Like the Commandant said, we're going to win. We will continue to win. This is a legacy of winners. All I can say to each and every one of you is thank you for letting me be a part of this. Thank you.
That's awesome. So nice to have you folks with us. I'm fired up. I want that globe and anchor. You know, my good friend Pat Kenny's over here, chopper pilot, C-46s. Yes. We have Colonel Benke over here, C-47s, chopper pilot. We were at Pat Kenny's a while ago, and I said, you know the Marines are our Department of the Navy. What'd you say, Colonel? Pat? Chopper? Yeah, that's right. Well, adult department, perhaps. Boy, I'll tell you what, we have some beautiful people here, don't we? And it's a special evening. I was going to start counting Purple Hearts, the cloth of our country. We're all honored to wear these threads. But we have some special people here that not only raise their arms to do whatever and put their lives on the line. They bled real blood for our country. Is Sergeant Link among us tonight? I wanted to catch him. Sergeant? Come on, let's drop this out. Well, we just did a nice story with Sergeant Link. And as you can see, he's got some experience over there, one of our snipers. We did a story at the station, and is so proud to have you here with your brothers and sisters from the Corps and our sister services. It's amazing to have you and just representative of the many people that have done extra for us. You know, I wanted to Globe and Anchor myself so badly that I finally trained up to do the Marine Corps Marathon in DC. You know, you start at the Pentagon. I tried to join the Corps many years ago, and I found out you have high standards. I had to do some training, get fit. Finally, the Navy let me in. But I wanted to get this, and I finally got it, and now I hope I can be with you fine folks. It's just been a wonderful evening. We want to honor you and treasure you and preserve these wonderful fine traditions. And the folks who have made it happen are our chairman, our co-chairman. Would you please welcome back up to the stand here our co-chairman, Gunny Sergeant Keith and Carrie Lundgren.
Thank you. This is a little out of the ordinary, but I'm going to ask that any and all Marines please stand, come to the dance floor, and please form a circle for me. Yes, it is a little unusual, but there's a reason then why.
We're going to do the hokey pokey.
We're going to do the hokey pokey.
Let's do it!
Please form a circle around the edge of the dance floor. Wow, it gets crowded in here.
We're going to need a bigger circle, right? School circles, we can take a knee, Steel Bend.
So here's a reason why we're doing this. Again, it's a little unusual. If you guys could part ways for a second.
We're happy together.
I'm going to ask that the Hare family please join me up here. Now, the reason I'm inviting these folks up here is these are very special to the Marine Corps League 337. This last year, we lost a very close friend, Gunnery Sergeant David Hare. As you'll see on the video slides of his illustrious career through the Marine Corps, this guy joined 16 years old. 16.
Wow.
But as he's passed, he's left a legacy of his children with us, and I wanted them to see, each and every Marine out here, this is your family.
Hurrah.
Just because he is on another station now, Garden Gates, this is your family.
Once a Marine, always a Marine.
So I'm going to ask my lovely wife to come up for a second. And this is to honor your father. This here is a final salute statue, Marine Corps. With this statue, I want you to know that your father is always in our hearts, in our minds, and in our thoughts. So we are presenting this to your family today in honor of your father. So I'd ask all Marines, please attend. Hooray. Dismissed. So as we conclude with this ceremony, I want to again thank each and every person for coming today. I hope I don't look too bad for 242 years old. So.
It wasn't on the program. We do have a presentation to make. Tim, would you come up and help? We have some stuff on the back table for some lovely people up here. Mike, are you right here somewhere? Could you get part of that too? I know you're at the head table, but this is for you. Hey, we got a uniform out here. So thank you so much for coming and speaking and being our narrator, Tim and Dorothy. For traveling over here and coming to see us.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Never ever think that we want to appreciate all of you.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hoorah! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's have a great party. Let's dance and eat and celebrate the most fantastic fighting force in the world. Thank you. Hoorah!